specific product market. The other strategies which we consider in this course will involve the corporate level strategies of bank companies. May proceed with the different business level strategy for different markets, meaning that a company has different business units competing with different product markets. We'll also consider acquisition and restructuring, international strategies, cooperative, and so on. The goal of business level strategy is to build a relationship with customers in individual product markets, as I already said. And the key issue here is to deliver superior value to the customer, do something that competitors cannot do, or do it better than competitors. There are five generic business strategies that can be used by any organization to compete in any industry. It used to be just 3 of them, but introduced by Porter, but it's developed now to 5, and we'll look for them. Okay. When selecting the business level strategy, the firm determines who will be served, what needs the customers, and how those needs will be satisfied. Firms use their capabilities and core competencies, meaning how, to satisfy the needs, what, of the target group of customers, who. And firms use core competencies to implement core value creating strategies, thereby satisfying customer needs. Core competencies are resources and capabilities. I just remember we already considered this on the previous lectures. And these core competencies serve as the source of competitive advantage for the firm over its rivals. In order to answer to the questions how we compete, we need first of all to make a segmentation of the market, and this is the process used to cluster people with the similar needs into the individual and identifiable groups. Almost any identifiable characteristic can be used to subdivide the market into segments. So we basically we take the market by considering what groups are similar and on what conditions, what characteristics, in order to figure out who we are going to serve on that market. Here we can see just some examples of customer segmentation. You can see that it's customer market or industrial business markets. And for customer markets, the criteria can be demographic factors, age, income, sex, etc. Social class, stage in the family life cycle, geographical factors, culture, national differences, psychological factors, and so on. For industrial markets, there are different characteristics we consider when we're doing the segmentation, and this is end-use segments, this product segment, geographical, common buyers factor segments, and customer side segments. There could be many different characteristics we have to consider when we do segmentation, and in order to figure out our business strategy. As I already tell you, I will provide some examples from NCG, the Northern Capital Gateway. And one of the primary decisions that was considered, and the issues was considered and decision was taken regarding the customer segmentation, was the choice between the point-to-point type of airport or hub airport. You probably noticed that in Moscow and many other capital cities, and not just capital cities, and many other cities in Europe, America, and Asia. There are some hubs or point-to-point airports, type of airports, and this decision influences all other decisions which need to be considered, and activities which will serve the customers. As air companies who will fly to airport, so we if it's point-to-point, meaning that they can stay overnight or something, or need just to deliver luggage to the passengers and not provide the transfer of the luggage. So the luggage system has to be different. There is no need for transfer infrastructure in point-to-point airports. And when the Pulko airport was constructed, the decision was that this would be a point-to-point airport. And those days, the operator, the NCG, questions once more, put this issue on under question once one time, and probably there will be some changes in this regard. So the documentation is one of the steps, the first step in deciding on what business strategy we are going to apply. We need to consider also the needs of our customers. Sometimes there are lots of instruments to consider those issues, those needs. The Maslow hierarchy pyramid is a very famous one. Despite the fact that there is no firm 100% confirmation it's worked properly, but nevertheless, as a guidance, it's still used, and probably is an important and useful tool to figure out the needs of our customers, what we are talking about here. You can make you more familiar with the Maslow's hierarchy just by reading, but here just short observation. The idea is that the people will proceed from basic needs to more sophisticated needs by satisfying the lower level of the needs. When people need food or some basic psychological needs, they won't think about the more sophisticated level. They need just to provide the very basic needs for them. When it's done, then people start thinking about safety, about providing the more long-term comfort and safety for them. When they have this already, then they can talk about and think about love and belongings, about relationships, and so all of those needs are transferred and can be transferred into the goods and services we can provide them, either food or services, or the opportunity to do sport or go to a theater, library, and so on. So this is needs. These tools we use to think about the needs of our customers. So there are two dimensions of business level strategies: competitive which state for competitive advantage, and competitive scope. Competitive advantage is about lower the cost than the rivals, perform activities differently than rivals, and the second one is uniqueness, perform different valuable activities. And competitive scope, whether we are targeting the broader audience, the industry-wide basis, for industry-wide customers, or now a niche, narrow target. We're targeting something a niche to the exclusion of others. So, and all those two dimensions is it produce as traditional 2 to 2 matrix, where we can see the and some additional element to this matrix, which is integrated cost leadership dimensions. As you see here, basic customer value with the low cost or distinctiveness. This is about competitive advantage. Or we have target market, broad market, or narrow market segments. And as the result, we'll then have 4 or 5 different generic competitive strategies, business strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, state for difference in broad market. Focus differentiation, where we're talking about the distinctiveness, but we will consider a no market segment, a niche market. We can talk about low cost. We have focused cost leadership, and in the case a sort of balanced or integrated or intermediate strategy, we can talk about integrated cost leadership differentiation strategy. The cost leadership strategy is an integrated set of actions taken to produce goods and services with the features that are acceptable to customers at a lower cost relative to that of competitors. The essence of this strategy is, first of all, it's low cost, then and broad target. We have seen it on this slide. Very important matter in working with this, choosing this strategy, is to consider the life cycle of the product. Usually it is about standardized goods and services for the industry most typical customer. When we just in the beginning of the life cycle, the cost leadership strategy doesn't work properly because the goods are because the advantages of low cost won't work properly in here. So it's usually about mature. It's about mature product or services we're talking here, and the main tool to do for developing this successful strategy is the value chain management. And specifically inbound and outbound logistic. But other issues also are important. When we're talking about cost leadership strategy, we can work with all different parts of the value creation activities, and in order to suppress our costs. We can manage our supply chain and building an effective relationship with the suppliers in order to get more cheaper inbound. We can rebuild our operations, and the economic of scale works here in a proper way. Works for the most important tool for most important driver for this strategy. We also talk about distribution when we can choose the low cost models of transporting goods and delivery times. As an example, you probably know that low costers do not use agents and suppress the cost of they usually pay for the normal air companies pay to the agents, and the low costers don't do that. The other issues also involve marketing, including sales, the big volumes, and which allows us to make to lower prices, and the Walmart or other retailers showing the championing in this area, and they serve as a good examples. But the organization of supporter functions also are involved in developing the strategy and bounding the competitive advantages in order to follow up the strategy. Here you can see the cost drivers and the keys to driving down company costs. Economies of experience, one of them. Increase of output reduces the unit of cost, meaning that the more we produce, the volume of production, the less is the cost of the one unit, because we spread the fixed cost on the greater value, so it works in this way. Excuse me. We can take outsourcing or vertical integration as one of the means to suppress the costs. The bargaining power of the firm could be also an issue here, and will the bigger the company, the better terms and prices it can get from either the suppliers or from the buyers. You probably heard here in this country many times there was issues when small suppliers complaints regarding the power of big chains, and when the big chains suppress the prices and in order to lower the prices in their shops. Incentive system and culture also important, but nevertheless, usually the economies of scale is the champion here, and the most important drivers and key driver for driving down the costs. Considering this strategy, we need to take into account how it works with the 5 forces. I won't stop here for long. You have everything you need on the slides. You can go through that, through these issues, in order for us to have more time to talk about other issues. But I ask you to read through the slides here. I know that sometimes you have no time or no opportunity to go to library and take the textbook and read through that. So I'll put lots of information in here for you to be equipped for further for your seminars and quizzes and exams. Just few points here, probably. Because of cost leaders' advantages, position rivals hesitate to compete on the price variable. This means that cost leader, once achieved this position, is able to is in a good position to build the barriers for other participants in the markets, having a advantages in the low cost, firms are able either to decrease the prices and get a bigger share of the market, and or either get the stick with the previous the stick with the prices and earn the superior return on the investments. The bargaining power of buyers and customers is also an important issue here. Although customers can force a cost leader to reduce its prices, prices will not be reduced below the level of which the cost leader, next most efficient industry competitor, can earn average returns. A competitor that does not earn average returns would be forced to exit the market, leaving the cost leaders with less competition and even stronger bargaining position. Let's talk about a little bit about the risks of the strategy. Competitive risk associated with the cost leader strategy include a loss of competitive advantage to newer technology, a failure to detect changes in customer needs, the ability to imitate the cost leader's competitive advantages through competitors' own distinct strategic actions. Let's begin from the last one. Probably you cannot remember, but there was some time when current 2 of 3 major mobile operators, MTS and Beeline, competing fiercely over the prices, over the using this cost leadership strategy. They decreasing costs. They decreasing the prices for the customer, and there was war between those big 2, and they imitate one company imitate the other one and decreasing the cost, but was not able to get the competitive advantages through this competition. Because those advantages wasn't sustainable, and the competitors, the rival, can imitate easily the move of the other company, and this just drives the cost down, the prices down, and this is why probably in this country we have one of the lowest cost of a mobile network communication. A failure to detect changes in the customer needs. Driving costs down, the companies needs to make the trade-offs in order to keep lower costs. Companies usually cuts lots of important expenses, which differentiate the needs, and the product become more general, not distinct, and provide just a basic basic services, provide basic needs for the customers. When the preferences of the customers are changing, then the customers probably will move to the rivals, and the customer one's cost leader and one's cost champion will lose the market. The good, the huge problem probably is the competitive advantage, the loss of competitive advantage to newer technology. The most recent history provides lots of examples of that problem, that risk. When champions in services of like codec, film producer lost to new technology, meaning the digital photography and digital picturing, and did not notice the changes in the environment, or was not able to keep with this new technology. Probably you can name lots of them. Guys, if you want to provide some examples, as I remember you have get more points in here. You have opportunity to print in the chat, and I have your emails, and those of you who are active on the lecture and provide some answers and participate in the discussion will get some more points. So let's talk now about differentiation strategy. When we were discussing the cost leadership, we're talking about the low prices, and here we talk about more about value that customers want to see in the goods or in the services they are purchasing. They want to purchase. There is a question: are some cost drivers more influential than others? Yes, probably, but it depends on the industry, on the products, on the many other issues. The companies, the firms need to figure out need to work with the specific industry, specific segments. So, and once company chooses the segment which is more related to the internal competencies and advantages, and start to work with this segment and with this product, with this customer, then they will consider the drivers. In some areas, the company has the ability to suppress the prices. In other industries, in other sectors, probably the lean production or just-in-time instruments or other technological advantages probably could make more difference to the product. It would suppress the prices. You probably know, despite the fact that you're quite young, that the champions of cost leadership once used to be Japanese companies, specifically Toyota car maker, who offered to the world, to the business world, lots of instruments how those prices and costs can be keep down. Are the specific risks in each business level strategy? Yes, there are specific risks for every business level strategy. They are different, and we'll consider them. You will have the slides, and the slides provide the information, some information on those risks. The more I remember you, the more you read, the more you know. So you can go through the slides, and you can also read the textbook and additional literature to understand how it works. So, differentiation strategy. We're talking here about the different value to the customers, and differentiation between products and goods. Sometimes it could be quite funny. For example, there are huge differences. Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola differentiate to each other, but to be honest, even the people who likes one brand or another one sometimes cannot make a difference between those two. I personally can, but usually the textbooks are saying that there is no difference at all. Even blind tests do not support the idea that the taste is different. What else? You probably can. Sometimes the good example here is provides as a Apple, who choose a quite broad niche on the market and serves the whole market, but develops a very unique experience in with their services and goods. It is not the clean example, the clear example of differentiation strategy. Sometimes it could be discussed in a blue ocean or something else by when Apple offers completely new way of listening to music by introducing iTunes, so creating a new market, basically. But Apple's computer provide quite unique experience for those who use them, and it can be named as a specific example, as an example of differentiation. No, the brand Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola are distinct. They have the customers. There is a question: is Coca-Cola, Pepsi such as example as differentiation when it is hard to distinguish? No, no, no. I'm talking about that the product, the taste of the product are maybe quite same, but the positioning and the customer segments are quite different. Those who prefer Coke don't usually purchase PepsiCo. Yeah, we can speak about brands. Brands are one of the tools for this differentiation, and sometimes is the main tool to do that. Not just goods, experience, value, and other issues. So differentiation produce products that customers see as being different. It doesn't mean that it has to be different. The perception of customers, what is important here. So differentiating target customer for whom the firm creates value because of manner in which its products differ from those products and marketed by competitors. So it is the company differentiate them from the competitors by right positioning of their goods, by choosing the right value and trying to be different. As you remember, probably on the first lecture, we talked about Porter's idea that the competition is about being different from customers. If you are the same, it's hard to compete at all. There is no choice between you and your competitors. The difference may be in price when we talk about the cost leadership, price or cost of production for general common goods, or differentiation when you are different not just in goods and services, but or perception of for the customer, but main idea is that you are different in the value for your customers. Differentiators are able to charge premium prices. the ability to sell a product at a price that substantially exceeds the cost of creating its differentiated features. Meaning, creating different value, you can raise the cost. There are some limits, definitely, and but the basic idea is that you are going to charge your customers more than generic products. Important here that you need to consistently upgrade the firms which are following this strategy need to consistently upgrade the features that customers value. When it's become a commodity, the value decrease, and there is no specific experience, no value for the customer. Definitely, it depends on the specific goods or services, but in general, we need to do that. The companies need to do that continuously, and you've noticed how mobile phones producers do this each year. They provide some new features, trying to differentiate from each other. One company try to give you provide the customers the better opportunities to make pictures, the other to listen to music, and so on. You've seen already this scheme. Here we are talking about value creating activities for a differentiation strategy. As an example, in operations, we have to provide high quality goods. So our operation aims to work with the quality. And supply chain also has to work with the goods, with the quality of inbounds. Follow-up service has to be much more sophisticated and provide specific experience and more long time for serving, better service, and so on. As usually, companies need to go through the whole chain value creation activities in order to figure out how this differentiation strategy has to be supported, can be supported. Among drivers, value drivers, the key of them are listed here. We already talked about research and development and production. Very important to pay attention to customer service because what values by customers more. Product features and performance, which differentiate from the rivals' goods and services. Quality control processes is very essential for this type of the strategy because without quality we cannot deliver the value to customers. Employee skills and training. This is what allows the company to support all of those activities. And companies looking for most skilled and trained employees in order to be champions in diversification strategies, and basically those the technology are the must. We also here will talk about differentiation strategy in 5 forces. I'll skip it here, allowing for you to familiarize yourself with those. We have just 10 minutes left for the lecture, and I wanted to talk more about different issues. So risks associated with the differentiated strategy include a customer group's decision that the differentiated products' unique features are not longer worth any premium price. We talked already about that. With time, the value for customer decreased, and we need to continuously develop the features and differentiate. First of all, the rivals will probably get some familiar features of their products, and in order to compete with us, and this means that we need to continuously work through that. The ability of competitors to provide customers with products that have features similar to those of different products, but at lower cost. You probably hear or heard some about the advantages of second comers, when the first comers have to produce more investments in developing goods and services, and the second comer can just replicate this, and therefore produce the same quality product but at a lower cost. So the focus strategy is integrated set of actions taken to produce products that serve the needs of particular segment or customer. Here we see that as examples, the segmentation can be done by a particular buyers group, for example, the senior citizens, the services, the medical services for specific citizens, or products or shops for citizens, senior citizens. Different product line, product for professional painters, or different geographic marking, for example, St. Petersburg. And here the segment of NCG, the company we are talking at the beginning of the lecture, was choose to serve the St. Petersburg, not the whole country. And the consequence of that Petersburg International Airport, Petersburg Airport is point-to-point. We still don't have the proper transition zone and transition activities. And this is why segments include, market segments include a specific geographic market. Otherwise, for example, NCG can choose to serve not just the St. Petersburg market, but the whole country, and create hub, meaning that the passengers from west north region of Russia, or other companies of Russia which can fly to St. Petersburg and then proceed to the rest of the country or abroad. It's probably as an example of this strategy of surfing not a specific region, but the whole market. I can name you the Kaliningrad Airport and Kaliningrad Airlines, the company which tried to create a hub on the most west on this city. A focus strategy leads to success when a firm serves a segment well, whose unique needs are so specialized that broad-based competitors choose not to serve that segment. Or it's create value for a segment that exceed the value created by industry-wide competitors. For example, the retailers can focus on the natural foods, and you probably know that in some countries in Europe and, for example, in the United States, there are some retail chains which are specialized in providing the natural foods, and they have the niche market. Sometimes these products, as usual, as a rule, those products and the prices in such supermarkets and retail chains are higher, meaning that companies charge more. The chains charge more for those who are able, who want to use such goods. So it is about niche. Firms can create value for customer in specific and unique market segments by using the focused leader strategy or focused differentiation strategy. As focused differentiation strategy sometimes can be named the companies which following the, for example, Rolls-Royce or other high-end products, offering the high-end products, Bauer Wilkinson for sound system or something else. The activities required to use both of those strategies and the manner in which both of the strategies allow a firm to deal successfully with the firm 5 competitive forces are virtually identical to those in industry-wide cost leadership and differentiation strategy. There are quite good examples here. Tiffany & Co. is an example. It's famous for its stunning, hard-crafted and timeless design. Yes, thank you. So what are the competitive risks here for this type of the strategy? The competitive risk, the competitor's ability to use its core competitors to outfocus the focused by serving an even more narrowly defined market segment. Industry-wide company's decision that the market segment served by the firm using a focus strategy is attractive, meaning that the big companies come to your segment and start to compete with you, having usually, as usual, as the rule, more resources to compete. As soon as the niche become attractive in terms of value, in terms of wideness, the big companies are coming after you and starting to compete with you. So it's the niche is not always protect you from the rivals. And as usually, as a rule, you have to remember. We need to remember that the preferences are changing. And meaning that sometimes the niche can be shut down, and with those who working on the who providing the services and goods for the market. So the last one is integrated cost leadership differentiation strategy. Basically, it's company trying to have value for money, meaning doing the differentiation and trying to suppress the cost, providing more value for lower cost. As an example, here we can name the Lexus brand. It is often named for this type of strategy. Toyota, the company that developed superior quality in economic segment, decided to compete with the big German name brands or American high-end brands, providing the more expensive cars, business class, and introduce a new brand Lexus. It's providing using the competencies in quality in building qualitative good cars, but adding some features which allows to consider the brand, the cars of Lexus as the luxury cars, but it was cheaper than the rivals of BMW or Mercedes or Chrysler, and so on the American markets in Europe and also here in Russia. So it was a successful example of applying this strategy. What firms use to achieve this the results? One pursuing this strategy is flexible manufacturing system, informational network, and totally quality management. Some description you will have in the slides. I ask you to go through them on your time with your pace. We'll talk just a little bit about the risks here. The main risk is to be stuck in the middle, and Michael Portal talks a lot about this risk when company pursuing both strategies, meaning the cost reduction, the cost, and trying to differentiate the goods. It may be that the differentiation is not that great to become a to be considered as the advantage of or for a good or service, or the price is not that suppressed and the company can be stuck in the middle, meaning then they will be compete on the disadvantages and not able to earn the more than average return. I'll put here for you in a table of the features of the competitive strategies, all different them. It is a sort of short summary what we talk here about, and I hope it helps you when you were studying on your pace all the time and be ready in preparing for the cases. Here we have we talk about product lines, which products more which products we are talking about when we're considering one or the other. About marketing, about production marketing emphasizes, about resource-based approach to consider which strategy is sufficient. And we'll have also the price cost framework here. The left figure on the diagram represents an average competitor's cost, C, of producing a good. How highly the customer values it is V, and its price. So this is the structure which is basic line which provides us average competitor, and here we can see how the different strategies work through through this framework. We are going to a low cost strategy, just putting down the costs and lowering the prices, or we differentiate and are able to provide more value to customer. Best cost strategy, meaning the integrated strategy. Let me see. It's integrated cost leadership differentiation. It is that one, the combination. Here it is more easy to. We're going for the best differentiation and for cost in the same way, in the same time. The difference between the goods value and to the customer V and its cost C is the total economic value V minus C produced by average competitor. A company has a competitive advantage over another if its strategy generates more total economic value, meaning that is this area is bigger. It's in this excess of total economic value over rivals that allows the company to offer customers a better value proposition and earn a larger profit, or both. Either more value to customer or company's profit formula, customer value, profit formula. You see, those areas we work in here are bigger than for the to the competitors. Here I'll put some observation for you, and you can read it in your time. As usually, you have some takeaways, theoretical concept and definition, which is you can make you familiar with yours on your time to be ready for the seminars and exams. And I suggest you'll go and do your more reading. I definitely